Next would be the abandonment option. A project can shut down if cash flows are low. The option to abandon or terminate a project prior to the end of its planned life. So this option allows management to avoid or minimize losses on projects that turn bad, explicitly recognizing the abandonment option when evaluating a project often increases its NPV. So we have a sample problem. This Campini Supplies company recently purchased a new delivery truck. The new truck cost $22,500 and it is expected to generate after-tax cash flows, including depreciation, of $6,250 per year. The truck has a 5-year expected life. The expected year-end abandonment values or salvage values after tax adjustments for the truck are given here. The company swap is 10%. So as you can see, there is a table from year 0 to year 5 because the truck has a 5-year expected life. So annual after-tax cash flow, we have an initial investment or the cost of new truck, which is $22,500, and the generation of cash flow for 5 years, which is $6,250. Also, on the another column, there is an abandonment value of the truck. So we have 17,500 for year 1, 14,000 for year 2, 3,000, $11,000 for year 3, $5,000 for year 4, and $0 for year 5. So the question now would be, should the firm operate the truck until the end of its 5-year physical life? If not, what is its optimal economic life? So usually in businesses, we need to use the asset over its economic life. So we need to finish, for example, in this problem, it is a 5-year asset. So most of us think that using that asset for 5 years would be beneficial. But in this case, the answer is no. The firm should not operate until the end of its 5-year physical life. The optimal economic life is 3 years. So, how do we back up that explanation? Here is a table of the Campini Supplies company about the new truck, which is expected to generate cash flows at the end of 5 years. So for each period, annual after-tax cash flow, 6,250 for 5 years. And then the abandonment value. So at this stage, assuming that we have abandoned the new truck at year 1, year 2, and up to year 5. So there are data which we put here. So if we abandon the new truck at year 1, we will get an NPV at 10% of $909.09. Next, we need to compute for the year 2. If we abandon the truck at the end of year 2, we get $82.64, a negative also. At the end of year 3, if we want to abandon and assume that the truck would be fully depreciated, the NPV would be 1,307.29, and this time it is a positive 1. If we abandon the truck at year 4 and discontinue, we also get a positive number of 726.73. Last but not the least, At the end of year 5, if we fully use the expected life of the truck, which is 5 years, we'll get an NPV at 10% of $1,192.42. So, why is it that the optimal economic life is only 3 years? So, as we can see and in the results, year 1 is negative, so it is not optimal. Year 2 still also negative, so they should continue still. At year 3, it is a positive one, so 1,307.29, but they can't decide yet because there are 2 remaining years. The year 4, 726.73, lower, a little bit lower than the year 3. And also in year 5, there is a difference also between year 3. So to get the optimal economic life of a truck, we need to find the highest NPV for both or for all years. So in this case, it is the year 3, in which the NPV at 10% is 1,307.29. Though it is a small amount, but of all the 5 years, year 3 has the largest amount compared to the other 4. So these are the computation. We need to compute the NPV, and we need to substitute the formula of NPV. So in year 1, we get negative $909.9 at 1.1 multiplied by the power of 1. So at year 2, same, negative 22,500 plus each year 6,250 over 1.1 multiplied by raised to the power of 1 plus 20,250 over 1.1 raised to the power of 2. So we get a negative 82.64. So at year 3, substitute the formula and then we compute. We solve the answer of 1,307.29. So it is the year that yielded the highest NPV. So in year 4, substitute again, we get $726.73. Also a positive one, but it is lower than year 3. Last but not the least, year 5, substitute from the formula, we get an NPV of $1,192.42. It is closer than year 3, but it is still lower